Okay, so looking over what we did yesterday, I'm a little confused. Because we don't, if enter is pressed, oh, and you know what? Yeah, okay, so if enter is pressed and we have one occupant in our mouse stones, and that occupant is a capstone, then we would advance to movement 5. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Let me check what this next move illegal's doing. So it's comparing the next move, and if the grid of that next move is occupied by a capstone or a standing stone, then we're going to be off grid. See, so I guess this is a little confusing to me. Like, at this point, no. And our movement event 4. Here. So if enter's pressed, and we have one stone in our hand that's a capstone, we update our second movement. Okay, we're not updating our next move here. Is that a mistake? Where do we assign our next move? Next move row and column. Next move off grid is where we do it. Okay. I guess that's a little... What? We're not doing that. Next move off grid. Oh, next move off grid. Yeah, okay. Okay. So this is where we update our next move. We probably shouldn't name it that, but it works. Okay, so now that we've got movement event 4 covered for a capstone crush, we need to add that functionality to the next time we lock in our stones. So movement event 6 is a time where we lock in that stone, lock in our stone hands, but we need to first check if it's a capstone grid or we're first checking if we would have a capstone crush, in which case we would swap off grid to false so that we can actually move our stone there, because off grid will be true if we're holding a capstone, if the space we're trying to go into is a standing stone. But if we have a capstone and only a capstone, then we can actually move there. So that's why we're swapping this here. Then we assign our new direction, which we have to update here. So we'll have to add an off-grid else if here. Now, we wouldn't be a movement event 5, we'd be a movement event 7. And instead of first movement row, we're now checking our second movement row. And I thought about making a function for this. It's just that we have so many different factors, or so many different variables we're modifying. So we would have to give it like 5 parameters or something, which I guess isn't that bad of a thing, but we'd have to not only get the right movement rows and columns here and here, but also the special clear control, and I don't know, actually. Maybe it's not a bad idea to functionalize that, but let's... So we'd be assigning a third movement row here. Based on our second movement. So let's just go ahead. Every second will become third. Okay. And then we would already have cleared control of this if the occupants were 0, so we don't need this here. Next move off grid, we'd be checking our third movement row now that we've updated it. And that'll be updating our next move variables and then our next move illegal. So it actually checks whether or not we'd be off grid there. Now let me see next move illegal again. Does it do anything other than assign off grid? Okay. So let's try. This would be a capstone crush if we are in a movement event 5. And actually, that's the one we've already done. Right. Okay. I think we messed up. Yeah, we did the next movement event, so we need to add it for our movement event 5. So right here, if enter's pressed, we need a option before here. This can be an else if. Now this would need end. Let me check the end on the other one. Yeah, we need an end here too. Okay, so this would be now I'm really confused. We check up here first. Now, if this one's off grid, we go from first movement to second. So this one would be second to third, which we have, correct. Then we would need this to 6, and then this one in our movement event 6 would be from third movement. Yeah, we would go from third movement to fourth movement. Okay. So let's test whether or not we can dump a capstone. So we would need like 4 stones in our hand topped with a capstone. So we'll do that right now. And then we already checked this spot, so we're checking this spot for a capstone crush. So let's go ahead and try. Now we can lock that in, dump maybe 2, dump maybe 2, and then hopefully pressing enter will allow us to dump it here. Current grid column, 253. That means our next move off grid isn't getting our current grid row. So where are we failing to pass it in? Let's go to movement event 5. And see. Next move off grid. Third movement row, third movement column. We should be assigning that correctly here. Let me check. So we only run this capstone crush in the first movement event. This capstone crush function in the second movement event, sorry. Because we have to check all of our surrounding spots. But once we lock in the directions, we don't use our capstone crush anymore because we're not trying to check every option. So we could have developed that a bit prettier, but we did not. So now when we lock in the amount of stones, now this logic works. So this second movement row, second movement column, that's not crashing us. It's just that when we're in a movement event 5, third movement row, third movement column. So what's going on here? Not sure what's going on. It should work. Let's see if we accidentally broke our main one here. Well, okay, let's see if this works. Yeah, it works. So that grid works. Why does not? We need to write our function, tester function to represent this. So we can test this easier. But let's say, yeah, right there. Attempt to perform arithmetic on current grid column, which is a nil value. So where are we messing up here? The movement event 5 is if enter's pressed and we've only got one capstone in our hand. Third movement column. Oh, right here. Of course, dude, what are the odds that we had the bug in the left direction, which is what we were testing? That's a little silly. But let's rewrite our tester stack function so we can do this better. So we're gonna give us a 3 stack at second row 5 over. Now we're going to give us a standing stone at 2 and 2 to test this out. But then we also need a capstone. A black capstone, I think. At 1,5. So now we should be able to test that functionality a lot faster now. So we can go ahead and move this on here, and then we can now test our 4th standing stone here. So we're able to do it. We're able to do it. That's awesome. That's great. So let's do the last one now. Yeah, let's do the last one, which is a what movement event. We've got 5 that's working. We've got 6 that's working. Yeah, what we just tested was 6. So now we need to test what movement 7? Yeah. Now the thing is, yeah, we still need to allow the capstone crush. Okay. So we can see if enter was pressed, then if we're off grid, we're not actually off grid, and we would swap players at the end of this instead of changing movement events. We don't even need to check our next move off grid, but let's just get it working first, and we can kind of chop away. We know this is our 4th movement row now, right? 4th movement row. We're doing this wrong. Yeah, we need to update our 4th movement row here. So it would have crashed there, but we caught it. Yeah. Okay. Let me just make sure that doesn't crash us. Let me just see. Nice. So capstone crush works on that movement event 6. Now we just need to add it for 7. And we're going to be checking the 4th movement row this time, which is the last possible movement. We wouldn't need to assign our new direction, and we wouldn't care about our next move because we actually just swap players right there. So let us test. Actually, let's give ourselves whatever's in 2-1 needs to go. So this one needs to go, and then we need to put our standing stone all the way across from our capstone, and then now we can test it. So we did that wrong. We need to do 2nd row, 1st column, and then let's go ahead and give us a 4 stack here, actually. Okay. And then I want a white capstone, actually. So now we can test this last scenario. If we've got a capstone, we can move, we can dump. I don't know why it crashed there. It dumped, or it crashed when we dropped 2 stones. So 1373 is where it crashed. Did we... I don't know why it crashed. Let's check the 5th movement event. 5th movement event, we're going from 2nd to 3rd. 2nd to 3rd. Then we're going 3rd to 4th. That should be right. That doesn't make me feel good. Now, can we just move 1 in each? Why are we crashing on that second one? Do we have an else if in our movement events? We've got an if, we've got an else if. But this shouldn't be going because we have, oh, right here. No, that's right. Fuck. It's crashing upon an interpress, regardless how many stones we have in there. Dropped in 3rd movement. What am I missing? Why was this working when there was a capstone, but it crashes otherwise? You know? That's what's really confusing. Because if we put our standing stone 1 over, we can crush it, can't we? Because we just tested that. That works, yet we're not locking in our move if we dump all our stones. Yet, if we have 0... Oh, this needs to be an else if here. Okay. So will that fix us? I messed that up. Let's see. I'm gonna try to end our move right before. We're still not doing it. That is a movement event 5. This is confusing to me. We're in a movement event 5. And we would be... We have 0 occupants. We should swap our player, man, if we have 0 off-grid. Oh, what? That's a movement event 4. Here. I don't think we need this. Off-grid ending turn. If we're off-grid, you know what? Hold on. Yeah, we need this is already off grid, so we can just say, first of all, check if we have 0 stones in our hand. And if we do, go ahead and swap our player after updating that stuff. And then we can say, else if it's going to be a capstone crush, just capstone crush it. Maybe that'll work. So I'm trying to dump all of our stones right before we get there. And we are able to lock it in now. Now let's see if we crash. Go to dump it. Or capstone crush it. And we don't. So now, let's see if our next space works. Let's just take a peek at that code in movement event 7. If we're movement event 7, enter's pressed. We shouldn't need to set off grid to false, but let's see. It should be working. Let's move our standing stone 1 to the left and then retest it all the way across the board. So. Dude, 1370. Same thing, right? What? 1370. Third movement. Oh, we go from second to fourth here. How did we mess that up? How did we mess that up? Second to third, second to fourth. I don't know how we messed that up, but we're messing it up. So let's go fix it. Okay. And then we'd actually be checking the third movement row here. How did we screw that up so bad? Do we have third to fourth? Checking fourth? Yeah. Okay. Let's hope that fixes it. Yo. Oh, we need to swap our player once we do that. In movement event 7, We do. We're able to dump it, but we're not swapping players. It's right there. It's right there. Player swap. Grid reset, yeah. Now, if we have no occupants in our mouse stones, I don't know why it's not swapping our players. Give me a break. I hate that it does that. I don't get that it does that. We didn't change anything and it's crashing now, but... So if we're in a movement event 7, we're able to dump any stones we can in that 4th movement. However, we shouldn't really care about this point. Well, first movement, second movement, third movement. So if we look at our movement, this is our first movement, second movement, third movement. So our 4th movement would be all the way across the board. So now in a movement event 6, so this is a movement event 6 we're talking about here. In a movement event 6, if we press enter and we are off grid, which we currently are, actually we're off grid false. That's weird. We should be off grid because the next grid is a standing stone. So that's a little weird. If we're off grid, we have one. This is where we need to swap our movement, or this is where we need to swap our players. We don't need to check here. I'm pretty sure all we have to do is swap our player here in a movement event 6 if enter is pressed. We don't need to update this direction if this is the case. We don't need to check this. We don't need to swap to movement event. We just need to swap our player. So let's try that and see. Nice. Nice. That's it. That's it. That's awesome. Yeah, we can crush a standing stone from all the way across the board. Now, just to test another, oh my god, come on. I hate that it does that. I don't know if there's a way to like clear the cookies or cache or whatever to get that to stop doing that, because that's so annoying. But I want to see if we can do a movement event all the way across the board without a standing stone there, first of all. Which I'm thinking we're able to. Okay, I even pressed enter when we had 2 stones in that last grid, and it didn't crash, so that's good. But we want now the one at 2.5 to be at 1.2. So 2.5 to be at 1.2, 2.5 to be at 1.2, and then we want our capstone to be at 1.3. And now we can test it downwards. Capstone crush. Nope. What the heck? We want this on. Let's just see. Okay, so we want this capstone not at 2.1 but at 5.2. So capstone, or no, standing stone not at 2.1 but 5.2. And then we want, nice. Then we want this one at 2.5 to be at 1.2. So 2.5, we want this to be at 1.2. Okay, and then we want capstone to be at 1.3. Okay. Nice. We can crush a capstone all the way, or we can crush a standing stone all the way across. Okay. I got work early in the morning, so I'm gonna head to bed, but next up, now that we can actually move now that we can actually crush those standing stones, now we're gonna actually implement them actually being crushed into a laystone, because right now we can't even. Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, we shouldn't be able to do that, or that should be a laystone instead of a standing stone. So we'll just have to implement that next. But that's the easy part of this whole thing, of this whole capstone crush feature. So then we'll be at the point where we were a couple days ago, where we test a whole game and see if anything crashes, and then if, at that point we could. If nothing crashes at that point, we're feeling pretty confident about ourselves, then we can go ahead and add a win state. We'll have to do some thorough debugging, I feel like, but it's really tough to think of all the cases. I'm gonna say finished capstone crush feature. Well, capstone crush placement, and then I'll say needs to convert to laystone. Git push. I don't like that it does that now. It's easy to type yes. I just wanted to do it again. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow I'll be back and we'll be doing the actual capstone crush into a laystone, and then we'll probably just dig around and look deep for some bugs and see if we can't get it to crash. Yeah, almost there.